My guy, Mike Chase, man. Welcome to the building. How you feeling today, brother?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good, bro.
Man,
Happy to be here.
You're looking good, man. I want to start there, man. I want to start.
Self-care, man. I got a little line up, got my teeth did,
Okay.
You
got the buff
got
fixed.
my buff fixed, I'm feeling back myself now, man. I'm refreshed.
So before we even get into this interview, man, first and foremost, man, myself, Harlem Taylor Media, and Rivet Records, man, we'd like to thank you for coming here, being a part of this for us, man. We've been watching you for a while, of course, man. We know who you are, but we want the people that we know to know who you are.
Okay.
So let's start with, you said I got the buff fixed, I got my teeth. What's going on, man? Talk to us, brother.
Man, my 32nd birthday was in May, so, did some upgrades, man. I cut my hair. My hair used to be down to here. Cut off a lot of length. Got my teeth did, upgraded my buff. So, a lot been happening as far as just blessings. So, you wanted to look like it sometimes, Look
Yes,
like
sir.
how you feel, man.
Yes, sir. So, quick question for you, man. For a lot of the people that will start following you after this interview, and even some of your previous people that already follow you, your profile picture, man, is actually you. And I don't want to say it for the people, but can you explain how that happened, what that is? Because that's something big, especially being from Detroit. That was huge, man.
Man, it's a Billboard picture with me on the Billboard of the music hall. And that was my second time on there. And that was my second time in my 1 year doing comedy, so which was huge to even see myself on that. Like when I first saw it, I was outside. It was our, I want to say our second show there. And I do these Mike Chase amateur show-offs where it's a bunch of new amateur comedians, and I give out a cash prize and a booking in one of my rooms. And a lot of new comedians come through there, get an opportunity. And when I saw it, I was just outside taking a smoke break, and I looked up like, hey, that dude's sweater is nice. And then I looked a little harder like, hold up, that's me, bro. Like, and it was crazy. That's like one of my... for me, that was one of my biggest accomplishments is being on that Billboard twice and then performing at the music hall. Like, outside of selling out the Aretha Jazz Cafe 5 times, we did that. But I performed in the music hall with over 1,400 people, and that's what created the opportunity for me to be on a Billboard twice.
So what even got you started into comedy? Did you always know this is what you wanted to do? Did other people tell you they thought you were funny? Like, how did this start?
Man, everybody say the same thing. I've been funny my whole life, yada, yada, yada. But I don't know, man. For me, comedy has been something I've used as a coping mechanism my whole life. So whatever was going bad, good, whatever, I was able to use comedy to lighten the mood. So no matter how bad junk was going, no matter how crazy stuff was going, I was able to flip that and make people laugh in a scene where you really wasn't able to get people to laugh. And when I watch stand-up, so I used to watch Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence. When I watch them, you know how you can feel like you supposed to be somewhere when you see it? And I used to always see it like, man, that's me. Like, I feel like I can do that. Everybody see it and be like, I think I can do that. So I wrote it down. I wrote a vision board back in 2021. I didn't start actually doing it until 2022 is when I actually did it. But I wrote it down. I said I wanted to travel the world doing stand-up. I wanted to do interviews. I wrote out everything that I'm doing now. And a year later, my guy, he got this venue. And he like, bro, I got this rap artist showcase, bro. You want to host it? And I'm like, no. He like, bro, you the funniest person I know, bro. You show? And I'm like, nah, I'm straight. And he was like, just do it, bro. And when I did it, my first time doing it, the feeling that I felt from making people laugh and just being myself, I was like, this feels good. And literally that day, it was people at the show that had a radio show, reached out to me. They like, we want you on the show. And it's been up since then.
Do you come from a family of comedy? Are you the first person to do this?
Oh yeah, I'm the first. I'm always the first.
What your family think about it, man? They support you? How's that going?
Oh yeah, man. Like my mom is at every show, man. Like my mom supports. Like my mom, but she supports anything I do. I can be moving dope. she'd be like, my son got the best lines. She support anything I do. So, my mom supported, my brother supported, and then for them, they really support it now because I'm a full-time comedian now, and this has been my livelihood. And I went from being in HR for 8 years, so I didn't leave, Burger King. I left working at HR, talent acquisition, recruiting, account management to go do comedy. I still be thinking sometimes like, you might not be the smartest guy, but it worked out. It took some time to transition into it, but a year later, I wouldn't even look back like I can't work a job no more. Like my job is comedy now.
I like that, man. And I'm sure a lot of people like to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
So since we're going in that direction of you growing, you being a better person, you finding your purpose, because it takes a lot to walk away from a job, whether that's insurance, whether that's security, financially, it takes a lot to do that. And again, a lot of people don't know this that's watching, but you're not just somebody I'm interviewing. You're somebody that I know on a personal level. Yeah. And one of the, I won't use the word fights, but one of the things that you did in your life that you do have to take serious, man, is your daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that we see on social media all the time. You let us know, I'm getting my daughter today.
Oh, yeah.
You constantly talk about that. And then we see her with you here today.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean for you?
For her, it's showing her that you can chase your dream no matter what time of your life it is. Like for her to see me when I started, when I was just a guest set on shows, to now everywhere she see it is my show. So it shows her, like, my daughter be in Iowa showing people me, like, look at my daddy, he the funniest person, like, and she sees it. So for me, I think it's teaching your kid how to chase a dream no matter how, life hits you, no matter what goes on. Like, you still can chase and obtain whatever dream that is. It don't have to just be a hobby. Like, I took it from a hobby stance, and now this is my livelihood. So I work 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, probably 3 hours a day, and I make the same thing that I was doing when I was in HR, working 50 to 60 hours a week. So God has created that freedom, and it's the first summer that I get my daughter back, and I don't gotta work every single day. Like, I was working every single day. I had to find people to watch her and, stuff while I go and try to make ends meet. But now I'm able to chill at home, be on Facebook, me and her chill up under each other, go do something. And then I go out a couple hours on the weekend, and then I'm back to her. Like, I had a show last night. I was gone a couple hours, came right back to her, and we chilled and watched TV, SpongeBob, and all that. So it's like, that's the type of freedom you want to create, and to be able to do it off my gift. Like it said in the Bible, your gift will make way. And I'm watching it. I'm living testimony. Like, my gift is literally creating opportunities that I would have never known was going to happen. Like, I got some news I'm going to be exclusively dropping on here today.
Man, well, we always like stuff like that, man. It only keeps people coming back to us, so we appreciate that. So let me ask you this question too, man. In my personal dealings with you, I've met a lot of comedians here. Yeah. I didn't know the comedy scene here was as big as it was. Yeah. And I mean that. I'm not saying none of this for these cameras, right? And when I started moving around with you, man, I started meeting a lot of comedians. I will say this too, in meeting some of these comedians, man, I got to really understand the egos that come with comedy.
Oh, yeah.
I get to understand that there are real situations that go on with comedy that people don't know about.
Yeah.
So what I want to get into right here really fast is, number one, some of the comedians that I've met that have been with you, you know what I mean? I'd like for you to shout them out, as well as just explain to people that comedy in Detroit is not something that's easy to do.
Oh, man. I think Detroit is probably one of the hardest cities easily to do comedy in because of the type of people we are. We are grit people, the type of stuff we go through. So a lot of comedy scenes, they are bars and stuff like that. So we coming into people environments where they want to turn up and listen to music, and now we talking on the mic. They like, hey, who is this? Shut the heck up. Like, so it's outside of that, it's just Detroit is one of them scenes where if you're not funny, they'll let you know. Oh, they will let you know. Whether it's silence, and that's a good one. That's the one that you would rather prefer, is the silence. But you got the the hard ones that they talk back. And Detroit is funny. So it'd be somebody in a crowd that's way funnier than a comedian that's on stage. And you say something and they say something back and theirs is funnier. Now you embarrassed and you was supposed to be the one performing. So Detroit is different because you gotta have a different level of confidence, and you see that anywhere where you see Detroit music, you see Detroit, any type of Detroit talent. We have this type of confidence that you just can't build. It's just a different type of aura, and it comes from being in the city. When you in the city, it's just you gotta put in the work to be that, and if you're not that, saying it will just get you your feelings hurt.
So what do you think about the women of comedy in Detroit? Because if it's hard for a man, how do these women have to take it?
Oh man, I mean with everything, it's always a little more difficult for the women. But shout out to Lala. She's a newer comedian, 1 year in the game. I mentor her, and she a star. Like she's the next one. Like when it comes to female comedian, she the next one. And I say that just because it's a certain type of pizzazz that she has, and outside of female comedy, just like female rap, sometimes they just feel the need to just talk about sexualizing everything, and that ain't the funniest junk or that ain't the sweetest junk to hear on a rap tune. Lala, and along with some other comedians, Ronnie Chanel, T-Bar, Cat Medlock, Judge Miles, Keys, Shannon Strong, those some comedians, women comedians that have straight material that can come out there that you can tell they writing. You can tell, that there is more than them trying to create laughs off their body or how they look. It's more so creating real life situations and making it funny. So it's a more difficult because it's a lot of, with anything, saturated. It's real saturated. So it's a lot of bad women, just like it's a lot of bad dudes in comic. It saturates the game. So it makes a lot of people be like, I don't even want to listen to women comics when you see so many people just get on stage and just talk. You're a radio host at that point.
Okay. So one of the venues that I used to film with you at, man, was Mike Epps Club.
Yeah.
That was something that was new to Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was his first club or how
Yeah,
that
I think
went.
that was the first club
I think
there,
it
yeah.
was too. What was that like for you, man? Because Mike Epps is a world-renowned comedian, actor.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him, man. And to the best of my opinion, it had to be him and his team that put you in that position to host his club.
Oh, yeah.
Man, how does that feel, man?
Man, it was dope, especially the time that they reached out for, that job opportunity. It was the only person that had that room was Coco. So the second person to get that room was me. And I was like, whoa, y'all want me to do what? And I got to get my own theme for a show, and it was a weekly Sunday show that I'm talking about. It was live. Y'all had to be there. It was one of those.
They were live.
Yeah, them shows were like, and just the whole experience, from them giving me a dressing room, from them put me on the little billboard thing that they got in the front. It was just the being on a social media page all the time, like getting my bio, like they created my bio for comedy. So it's like, it was a lot. It was a great opportunity, man. It was super dope, that stage, being able to have a night that they say this is Mike Chase night every week at a club that only me and Coco had it. So.
And good food right next door at Day
The food was good, the drinks was good, the comedy was good. Like I brought everybody through there. I had Henry Welch on there. I had Foolish on there.
The Apartments.
Yeah, Foolish. I had Ronnie Chanel, Shorty. Man, I had Shine E, Kong G. I done had so many people through there. Like, in that time, I brought some heat through one mic. So, yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun.
So, with all the accomplishments that you have, you most definitely are a man that you're careful with your words.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember asking you one time, I said, man, you don't cuss much, do you? Yeah. And then when I was filming your shows, I would go back and look at the footage. I would hear it now and then, but not so much.
Yeah.
In your everyday conversation, not so much.
Yeah.
First of all, that takes discipline.
Oh, yeah.
And second, I want to know, where does that come from? And as a comedian, why are you that way?
I think it's environment. I was raised, my dad don't cuss at all. Like, the only cuss word he ever said was piss. Like, you pissing me off. And for me, you know, when you're in an environment where you don't see cussing a lot, it's easy for you to not cuss a lot because you don't see it a lot. So I think environment play a huge part in where you hear comedians cuss. And then I think a lot of comedians think, you know, certain environments they have to cuss to kind of get the crowd to feel them. But for me, I feel like if you funny, funny is funny. Me saying a cuss word on top of it doesn't, you know, make it less funny. So I feel, you know, as long as you being funny, you can do that. But a big reason of me being strategic and not cussing on stage a lot is because I know for me, I can get bigger, better opportunities with clean comedy, universal comedy. You can be in white rooms, you can be in black rooms. I feel like I'm one of the most versatile comics in the game because my material is universal. It's family related. It's about me. So it's not, you know, targeting one. I don't have just black jokes or just white jokes. My joke is you can picture yourself in that moment, whether you're white, you're black, whether you're young, whether you're old. And I've had shows, you've seen pictures with the Godfrey show where the crowd is 60% white, 40% black, old from the hundreds to down to 20s. And it's like, I don't have to change my material. I never worry about when I walk in the room being like, ooh, I got to change my material up. Nah. Now, the only difference, you know, with a black room or a white room, I am more tailored to it, like a resume. You know, you tailor your resume to the job, specific to the requirements. So if I'm in a predominantly black room, I can say things that they will understand more so. But if I'm in an all-white room, I'm not trying to break it down for them to understand. It's no purpose of doing that. I'm tailoring it to them. So I'll make it to where they will catch it like that. They won't have to think like, oh, what does he mean by that? No, I'm going to put it right out there. And I think a lot of comics need to put more time into tailoring to their audiences. It will, you know, bring out a better experience and it will make people want to come back. Something I take pride in is a lot of people come back to my shows. Like I got so many regulars at my shows that I be like, you ain't tired of me yet? You ain't tired of this yet? But it challenges me too because I can't use the same stuff. I gotta always be up on it because I want them to come back again. So every time I see them again, I'm like, oh man, I gotta do this again to make them come back next week. So it's a good thing, man. It's a good feeling.
So speaking on your audiences, we realized, noticed, saw, read, and all type of other things on the internet, man, about a situation you had at a last show. We weren't there, you know what I mean? But this is the platform. We need you to explain. You got into a physical situation at a show. So when we speak about audiences, let's speak about this specific audience member. Like, what happened?
It wasn't an audience member. That's the crazy thing. It wasn't an audience member. I've never had that. I'm too good at what I do when it comes to the audience. My engagement is always a sandwich. And when I say a sandwich, I heard that through comedy, but it's a sandwich. It's a compliment, shade, compliment. So I'm never hurting somebody or attacking somebody. So for instance, if I see you got on a shirt that's really ugly, I will say, hey, that shirt is ugly. Or I will go the opposite way. I will say, hey, that's a really nice shirt. Only you can wear it. But that boy not. I would never ever put that shirt on. But you the truth for even wearing that. I know your girl told you not to wear that, but she let you wear it. And but I'm giving them a 5 at the end of it. All right, my dog, you know that shirt is cold, and it's more so. So I've never got into a situation with an audience member. Knock on some wood in here. But yeah, I ain't never been in a situation, and I don't see myself getting in a situation. That was one of my superpowers in HR. When I was in HR, I would tell people, they would ask the question, how do you deal with, confrontational situations? I don't get in them. I have the personality that gets me out of those type of situations. I'm able to say things that a lot of other people couldn't say. For instance, when I worked in HR, I dealt with light industrial, manufacturing, skilled trade, bunch of people with felonies and misdemeanors. My co-workers were all white. So when they come in here, a guy will come in sagging, talking crazy, hey man, I need a job, and they scared to tell them that their parents look right. And I walk over there, boy, if you don't pull your pants up, just like that. And they're like, oh man, my bad, cuz. Hey, stop calling me cuz, bro. Like, hey, it's the time and the place. And it's a way that I have a personality that it's just a gift from God, man. I can't. It's a personality that I have that I don't get into a lot of situations unless something just crazy. So with this situation, this was another comedian. This was another comic. And definitely a comic that had some hidden animosity towards me, clearly. But when I looked through my record book, I never booked them. So that might have been it. Booked probably hundreds of comedians, 200s of comedians in the last 2 years, and
He never
not,
booked
he's
them.
never not been one of them. So that might have been a reason, but I didn't. It wasn't nothing personal. He's just not funny. But that's a whole nother situation. The guy was there. It was Shawnee D's birthday. She was at Baker's. She was performing. While she was performing, the guy was drunk, belligerent, kept walking on stage. They had to walk him out the building. So when they walked him out the building, at this point, I'm like, yep, that's my cue to leave. So I'm leaving the club, and as I'm leaving the club, he's out there arguing with other fellow comedians about the situation. Hey, you're out of control. Hey, that was wrong for what you did. Hey, all this and there on his head. And I walk past like, yeah, that's crazy. I don't even want to deal with that. Walk right past it. Guy say, what y'all want to do? So he comes over to where I'm at. I'm, spliffing, doing me. In a whole nother area, he comes over there like, hey, what y'all want to do? And I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, you. He's 6'5", so I really didn't want him to be talking to me because I didn't want to fight a 6'5" guy. He's 6'5". So I did everything to avoid the situation. And a few words got said, and he ended up throwing a drink in my face. Glass drink. The drink missed. Thank God. But I know he wished it would have hit. Because shortly after that, hands delivered all through there. So y'all seen it, y'all heard it. If y'all haven't, it's still on my page. Go on there, check it out.
So a couple more questions, man, and we'll let you get out of here. Anything that you would like to say to anybody, not just coming up in comedy in Detroit, but coming up in comedy, period?
Yeah.
The real things you need them to hear, though, not the, man, keep going, never give up on your dreams. What do you want to say to these people?
You gotta be you, man. No matter who dislikes it, you gotta find your target audience. A lot of people go out trying to find everybody to like them. Everybody's not gonna like you. I say that. I think you done heard me say that at the show. Like, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I say I know that. That's why I book different type of talent and different versions of comedy, because I want to cover every level. I want everybody to leave happy. But if I'm not somebody's cup of tea, I'm not upset with it because they're just delusional. I'm hilarious. But if they don't believe that, then you can't make somebody believe that. You just have to focus on your target audience. So be you, be original. A lot of people are not original. Stop stealing jokes. Just be you, man. You do not have to steal jokes. And if you steal it, it's going to be soft. Like, everybody going to know it's stolen. Or the worst, you go do the joke worse than the original person. So stop ruining people's jokes. That's what I should say. Stop ruining people's jokes. And then just be consistent in spite of life. Life is going to hit you. Life is currently hitting me harder than I've ever been hit in my life. But nobody's ever to see that, because if this is truly what you want to do, you gonna keep pushing at it. You can't be like, oh, well, life is hitting me. Oh, work is this, or oh, I can't make it to Mike's. If you can't put the time in and do it while you got other stuff going on right now, you'll never be able to do it when it's a full-time job. It gets harder when it's a full-time job. Way harder. I miss that 6-figure job and doing comedy on the side, because I used to be getting a little book and be like, hey, this is nice. I can go buy a pair of shoes with this. Now I get booked and I'm like, hey, what is this? I need an extra 0 on this. So it's more so, it took a discipline, it takes transition. Don't get in for the money. The money go come. If you good, the money will come, but don't go for the money. Go for whatever that reason for why you do comedy. Everybody got a reason why. Everybody got a goal of what they trying to attain out of comedy. Everybody's goal looks different. So I can't tell you what to do because your goal may be different than mine. But if you want to be a good comedian, you do have to stay consistent. You got to hit mics and you got to continue to write. You can't never stop writing.
Man, tell these people how to find you on social media, man. How can they find you if they're interested in who you are as a person? How can they find you?
You follow me on Instagram at Why Not Chase. Spell it out, Why Not Chase. For the older people, y'all can follow me on Facebook at Mike Chase. They be on there bright and early. Grand Rise and Kings. And then the white people, y'all can follow me on LinkedIn at Michael Chase.
Man, we most definitely gonna put those in the description for anybody that needs a little helping hand with that, man. But we like to thank you for coming through here, man. Is there anything that you would like to say that maybe we didn't touch on, or something that you said you got something exclusive for us?
I do. So,
yeah, we need that, brother.
So I will be. I just announced 2 weeks ago at my Sunday room. I got a show dropping with Jamie Foxx and Tony Roberts, and I'll be the producer of the show.
Wow, bro.
I'll be signing the contract in the next 2 weeks, and I'll be the producer. So I'll be walking around with a sign like this, talking about action. Action, just walk up in the restaurant. Action, action. Jamie Foxx, Tony Roberts. So this is huge. This is.
So let me ask you this question too, then, really quick, because our thing with our content is, man, we want to get it out to people. You know what I mean? We want people to see what's going on, because not only do we want people to know who you are, but we need people to know who we are so we can bring them in.
Oh, yeah.
Is it okay for us to release this interview soon?
Yeah, man. I don't care, man. Do y'all thing, man. I wouldn't say that. You know, I'm very intentional, man. This was announced at my room publicly about 2 weeks ago. So the comedian came there. He announced it in front of. So a lot of comedians that was there that night, they know about it, and I'm pretty sure they spread the word around. So when the news dropped, I mean, it's huge though. Like that's what she said, but yeah, it's huge.
Man, well, congratulations on that, bro. Appreciate for real, man. And it's only up from here.
Oh yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Stay focused, keep going, man. We continuing to watch, man. And you know, man, I'll see you real soon, bro.
My guy, appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to them, man, getting you together. And my dog really was coming to shows, like put me together, man. We got some footage out there looking like I'm a whole movie star before it even happened. So, man, tap in with my dogs, man. They'll get you together and everything. And the experience is different. The boy be there on time. He be early. He be calling, like, hey, man, I need this. I'm like, oh, man, I didn't know you was there yet. But shout out to them for being, prompt, just professional and all that, man. So, my dogs for sure.
Man, we appreciate it, brother, man. Mike Chase, thanks for stopping in.
Yes, sir.